That's the ball game. Blue Bears win.
All right, here we are, week 3, the open of CIAA conference play for Bowie State University, and it's at home, and it's versus Livingstone, a game in which we lost last year. And we're coming into the game 0-2, where I believe they're coming into the game 2-1. So Livingstone they've done their thing so far early on in this year. They just got a big win against the SEAC school, which brought the CIAA's record this year versus the SEAC to 6-0. So yes, the CIAA has spanked the SEAC this year. It's not up for debate. We are the number 1 HBCU football conference. Not even close. 6 wins, 6 victories. Now, as I mentioned earlier, last year, Livingstone shocked Bowie State in Livingstone last year. A couple things took place in order for that to happen, though. Number one, and this is going to sound crazy to say, even though we all saw it, Bowie State turned the ball over 5 times. Yes, 5 times. Fumbled the ball 7 times. Lost 4 of them. 7 fumbles. Lost 4. And threw an interception. 5 turnovers on the road. Yep, that'll get you beat. Because if you look at the statistics, we had a lot of passing yards. Rushing yards, we had. Now, when you look at the rushing numbers, it looks weird because in college they take away sacks, right? And, I guess technically a fumble would be a rush. And so that takes away from the rushing total as well. So they don't go for just how many yards you got on rushing attempts. They do that and then they take away sack yards. So that kind of skews rushing numbers in college. But even with that, we had 150 total rushing yards in that game. But we lost 82 yards due to negative plays and fumbles and all those kinds of things. We held them to 100 yards gained. Last week, we saw that our run defense is a lot better than it has been, and our rushing offense is way better than it has been. We dominated time of possession. We had more passing yards and more rushing yards than Davenport. The only thing that hurt us was we didn't convert in the red zone nearly enough. Right? We got to work on kicking, field goals, or something else, because that was a struggle. But once again, last year, we outrushed them and outpassed them. The only reason we lost, once again, is because we turned the ball over 5 times, fumbled it 7 times, and recovered 1 fumble. That's what happened. On top of that, we even possessed the ball slightly longer than they did last year. Not by a lot, but a little bit. On top of that, we also had 10 penalties for 100 yards. So think about that. You turn the ball over 5 times, and you have 10 penalties for 100 yards. Yes, you're going to lose that game. And we did. But once again, this is week 3. This is a game that we have to have. We cannot start off the season 0-3. We cannot start off conference play with an at-home loss to Livingstone, especially when guys should be thinking about getting them back for the loss we had last year, right? This is a very important game. Mind you, we don't want to look ahead, but once again, they still have Fayetteville State on the road, Virginia State on the road for their homecoming. Winston-Salem State on the road, which is, I believe, the week after this one, which I will be there. Got to get my hotel and all that because I'm up in Winston-Salem. So let me know where the good barbecue is at because I'm going to be out there. So just think about that. We still got Fayetteville State, Winston-Salem State, Virginia Union, and Lincoln. Lincoln's looking bad right now. They got stomped out yesterday. Well, over the weekend by Johnson C. Smith. I mean, completely smacked down. It was like 50-6 or something like that. But, hey, we still got to play them. You don't want to start off 0-3. You don't want to lose this game at home. The guys just have to build on what they did last week. Possess the ball, dominate time of possession, outrun the other team, timely passes. Simple. We run the ball like we did last week. We stopped the run like we did last week. Even if you take out sack yards, Davenport had a total of 76 rush yards gained. They still only had as many. We did have some struggles in the secondary early. We did, but even with that, they still had less than 180 passing yards, and they still did not score a single point in the second half. So I just want to see, and I hope for everyone's sake, that the team is building upon what they did last week. That they're going to continue to dominate the ball, dominate time of possession, run the ball. If they do that, we could be and should be and will be fine versus Livingstone because, once again, this is a must-win game. But the way we've run the ball, we will win this game. Provided, hopefully guys don't get, beside themselves and, want to switch up the play. Listen. It's amazing what happens when you possess the ball, isn't it? You could have and should have won that game. As a matter of fact, we had several opportunities to score and take the lead in that game. And the way things were going, the way the crowd was turning up, the way the defense was feeling good about themselves, if the offense would have scored and took the lead, we would have ran away with that thing at home, for sure. But once again, I said this on social media, the quarterback is a true sophomore. In my opinion, he was clearly, gun shy. Didn't want to make a mistake early, but in the second half, he found the groove. He got more comfortable. He was letting the ball go. This being his first start, and it's at home versus Davenport, important game. He played well. Let's see if we can build on that against Livingstone. So I'm rolling with the Bulldogs to win Saturday at home versus Livingstone. Revenge game, it has to happen. It will happen. Let's go Bulldogs.